Hello guys, Dan here from Dan's Tech, and in today's video guys I'm going to be bringing you the £1,500 gaming PC for December 2015. It is indeed very late 2015 now. So yeah, for this build we're going to be picking up the i7 4790K, and for the GPU a GTX 980 Ti. That's the single fastest GPU that Nvidia currently sell. This build is very expensive, it's £1,500. But yet again, you are going to get a lot of performance. The GTX 980 Ti is pretty fucking fast. And to be honest, you can play some games at 4K. Typically, them games that are not very demanding, they're the ones you're going to be playing at 4K. But yeah, don't expect to play stuff like GTA 5 at 60 FPS in 4K. Even if you do lower the settings. Yeah. But yeah, you can play some games at 4K. Some really good things with this build is that, you are grabbing 16 gigs of RAM, you're getting a very nice case and also a very nice CPU cooler, and that, to be honest, in general, this is just a really fast rig, somewhat future-proof because of how fast it is. I don't really like using that word as these isn't a real, way to future-proof, but typically, to me, if you are spending a lot on a computer, typically, let's be honest, you are kind of future-proofing. If you have a powerful rig, it's going to, last a lot longer. And, that is future-proofing. You are preparing for the future by spending a lot of money. There we are. Anyway, guys, as always, links for Amazon, UK, and US are in the description. And, yeah, without further ado, let's kind of get into the build. And, yeah, let me guys show you what I've chose for the £1,500 gaming PC. There we are. Got there in the end. So to get started for the processor, we're going to be grabbing the Intel Core i7 4790K. This is the CPU that I do have in my own personal system, and I will say it is pretty damn fast. Now, it is a quad-core processor, and it does have 8 threads since it does support Intel hyper-threading. Now, the core frequency is 4 GHz with the turbo boost frequency of 4.4 GHz. But one thing that I do want to mention is that 4.4 GHz, it is relatively easy to run the CPU at that frequency all the time if you do have a pretty good cooler. Now the processor, it does have 8 MB of cache and also a maximum TDP of 88 watts, so it doesn't actually run that hot, which is a pretty damn good thing. Now onto the CPU cooler, we're going to be grabbing the Noctua NH-D15. It's a dual tower cooler with 6 heat pipes and also 2 140mm NF-A15 fans. I'm currently making a review of this cooler, and I will say it is very, very silent. Yeah, very silent indeed. Now fair enough, you can go with a liquid cooler like the Corsair H100i or say the Corsair H110 if you want to. You will probably get better overclocks with the liquid cooler, but this Noctua NH-D15 is incredibly silent, and if that's something that you want, I would definitely recommend this cooler. Now onto the motherboard, we're going to be grabbing the MSI Z97 Gaming 5 standard ATX motherboard. Now, this motherboard does run does pack the Z97 chipset, so you should get some very nice overclocks for the price, and it does offer some really good compatibility for RAM. Up to 32 GB of RAM are supported, all the way up to 3.3 GHz. Now onto the kind of the PCI Express slots and all that kind of stuff. You do get 3 PCI Express times 16 slots, 4 PCI Express 1 slots, and also the motherboard in general does support SLI and also Crossfire. So if you do choose to put many GPUs in a system, then you're all good to go. As for SATA ports, it does have 6 SATA 3 ports, so it does support the full 6 gigabit interface, and all these ports do support RAID 0, 1, 5, and 10 if you're into that thing. As for USBs, it has 6 USB 3.0s and 8 USB 2.0 ports, so it is a feature-packed board and does have lots of ports for say sound cards or say TV tuner cards if you're into that kind of thing. As for the memory, we're going to be grabbing 2 8GB sticks of Kingston HyperX Fury. Now this is DDR3 memory running at 1866 MHz, cache density of 10, and we are choosing the kit with the with the red heat spreaders. This will match the mother and also the GPU. Now onto the storage, we're going to be grabbing a Samsung 850 EVO and also 2 2TB Seagate hard drives. Now as for the SSD, the Samsung 850 EVO, we're going to be grabbing a 500GB drive, 2.5-inch form factor with 550 MB read and 520 MB per second write. Overall, it's a good drive at a good price, as it's just over £100 here in the UK. And also the hard drives, we're going to be grabbing 2 Seagate drives, 2 2TB drives for £110, 7200 RPM, 64 MB of cache, and to be honest, if you want to, you can stick these in RAID 0 or 1 if you want to. Now as for the GPU, I've decided to go with the MSI variant of the GTX 980 Ti. Now the specs include 2816 cores at a base frequency of 1178 MHz and also a turbo of 1279 MHz. Now the card itself does have 6GB of onboard GDDR5 memory via a 384-bit memory bus. And also the outputs, the card does have one dual-link DVI-I, one HDMI 2.0 port and also 3 full-size display ports, making it easy to connect up to 3 monitors. And also for the technologies the card supports, it has support for 4-way SLI, DirectX 12 and also OpenGL 4.4. As for the power the card needs, it does require 2 8-pin power connectors, of which the power supply we're choosing, the power supply we're choosing today does indeed have. As for the case, it was tricky, actually finding a case that would support all the components. However, I did decide to go with the Fractal Design Define R5. Now overall this is a brilliant case at a good price, and it does have both great construction and you can tell that the case has been very thought out. Now the case does support graphic cards up to 310mm long, CPU coolers up to 180mm tall, and it does have support for up to 8 hard drives or SSDs with an additional 2 dedicated SSD slots at the back of the case. Now the case does come with 2 140mm GP14 fans that Fractal do fit in the case already, and it does support up to another 7 fans depending on the size. As well as this, it does have an integrated fan controller, also Velcro straps for cable management. In general, I just think it's a very nice case. You'll get 2 USB 2s and also 2 USB 3s on the top of the case, which is indeed very, very nice. As for the power supply unit, I've decided to pick up the Corsair RMX 850. Now this is a slightly downgraded version of Corsair's RM i850, with this power supply not having support for Corsair Link. However, many people aren't that interested in that piece of software anyway. Now, this power supply does have a efficiency rating of gold, so so it is gold certified and does support very high efficiency percentages up to 92%. It does have a fanless mode where the fan will only spin once it goes over 40% load, which works out to be about 340 watts. Now as for all the connectors, the power supply has 2 4+4 pin CPU connectors, 6 of the 6+2 PCI Express connectors for graphic cards, it has 10 SATA connectors and also 8 Molex connectors. This power supply is fully modular, so you're only going to be using the cables that you need, and in general all the cables are sleeved and are flat black cables, so it's very nice to wrap these around the case, and in general just a very nice power supply. So to conclude this build, £1,500, it is pretty damn expensive. However, the i7 4790K and the MSI GTX 980 Ti will work very well in this build together. You can expect to play some games at 4K as I've mentioned, and in general you're just getting a very nice fast computer. As I said at the beginning, I don't really want to use the term future-proof, but in general you're getting a very nice computer that will last many years just because of how much money that you are spending, and it is that powerful. As always guys, all the links for all the parts are in the description. You will find Amazon UK and Amazon US links, and apart from that guys, thank you for watching. Please feel free to like, comment and also subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.